Welcome, listeners, to episode 73 of Cocktail Hour. I'm Andy.
And I'm Rev.
And we are just happy to be here as usual. And we're welcoming our special guest who's been on before, Jae.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
We love having you on.
This is our pleasure.
Yeah. And we like pleasure, so it's good.
And that reminds me, Andy, I got my birthday present from you yesterday.
Did you?
I don't know what it is, and I'm gonna have to have you explain it to me, not here. But I'm very naive. But I did love the clam that it came in.
Did TJ film it?
She did, yes.
Oh, good. Yeah, we'll talk about that offline. Sorry, listeners. I know it's going to sound like it's going to be an exciting combo, and I'm sure it will be. But
it will be. Andy sent me a sex toy for my birthday, but
I thought so, yeah. So happy birthday.
Oh, it's still in a few days, so but it's a little early.
Okay. But I think for you as Americans, it's okay to congratulate a little early, right?
I like birthday greetings all year round.
Okay, good.
All year long.
Because for Germans, it's a big no-no. You don't do it before the actual birthday.
Oh. But you guys are big on rules.
Yeah.
It's more like it's bad luck to do it.
Maybe that's what we've been doing wrong.
Oh, well, if something happens to me, I'm blaming you, okay, Jane?
That's awesome.
All right. So, welcome. We're happy to have you back.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has. It's been a little over 2 years.
Yeah, I looked it up too. 2 years. Yeah.
So much has happened since then. You've had a lot of stuff happen.
Yeah, especially last year. I mean, first I decided to switch publishers. Then very close to that, Roxanne from Albrook died.
Yeah.
Pretty surprising. And then I had 2 new books out in the end of last year. Yeah, and I've been pretty lucky and pretty busy to be with Ylva Publishing this year. Yeah, and it's going really good.
Excellent. So,
I would say, a lot happened.
Yeah. Well, Andy, I'm sorry, I cut off your normal introduction. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I did, it doesn't signal the end of me, so that's good. We were supposed to enjoy some German-esque alcoholic beverages today, but unfortunately, I was running around like a crazy goofball since last night, and I remembered to buy everything and its sister except apple juice.
Oh.
Because I was going to do the Amaretto Apple Juice.
That's not happening.
Yeah. Oh, are you? It's 3 parts apple juice, 1 part Amaretto?
Amaretto.
Yeah. So are you having it now, Sherry?
I am. It's very nice.
Is it good?
It's very subtle and good. I love apple juice. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Did
very
you?
Surprisingly good.
What was that, Jay?
I said it's surprisingly good. It's the first time I tried it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's surprising.
You didn't add the vodka to it, did you?
No, it's too heavy for me. I'm not much of a drinker, so I thought you want an intelligent conversation, and yeah.
and I'm on this call. Why? No, I'm just kidding. No, I had a couple of shots of that Canadian whiskey from our last. I think it was our last show, right? That we had whiskey sours.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, well, I said screw the powdered sugar and the lemon. I just went right for the whiskey. And that Canadian whiskey is nice and smooth. So I had a couple of shots of that while watching American Horror Story this morning during breakfast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now there's something for breakfast. The breakfast of champions.
Yep, it was all kinds of breakfast food, a couple of shots of whiskey, and American Horror Story. I don't think I've ever had that strange of a breakfast in years. I'm just saying. I'm throwing that out there. Yeah.
I'm a little afraid.
I was too, because I can't believe I was chugging that shit down first thing in the morning. I'm like, what the hell? I sound like a real alcoholic. I blame that video. I'm blaming Barbara Wright's video right here and now for putting in my head to drink like a fiend. There you go.
If you come on talking about your vacation in space, then we're gonna do it. It's surprisingly sticky.
Yeah, right? Fall asleep on the show and start snoring, then you'll know it's all over. Game over.
That's awesome. But she's a psychologist, so I mean, maybe she could help us with the intervention.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, so is
actually,
Jay, right?
It's exactly my specialty.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
there you go. We'll talk about that offline. But in the meantime, you guys know the drill about Audible, doing a free trial of Cocktail Hour. But more importantly, we have a donate button on our website.
Oh, we do.
We do. So for those of you that apparently are, planting your feet firmly in the ground and don't want to join Audible, but you want to contribute to our show for giveaways and such, just go over to our site at cocktailhour.us and donate.
Yeah, and we're going to have another Cocktail Hour swag giveaway next time. We're going to be it's our anniversary show, so we're not going to have a guest.
Mm-hmm. That we know of.
We haven't talked to her yet, so we don't know.
That we know of.
We'll see. But so we'll be giving away some of our stuff. And all those donations really do help with the Flicks and Swizzle Sticks giveaways. We've been giving away a lot of movies and stuff like that. So, if you want to help out, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of supporting Cocktail Hour, we do have an advertiser. We have a sponsor, and that's Ylva Publishing, who Jae publishes with.
Yeah.
So be sure and click on the link on the website and go over and see all of the wonderful things that Ylva has. There was one announcement that I did want to make, and I don't know if you want to talk about this, Jae, but the call for submissions.
Yeah, we have a Halloween anthology this year, and also a new anthology which will come out in early spring next year, January, February, and we are still looking for short stories that haven't been published before. Could be romantic or with more humor, or even erotica is fine too. So if you go to Ylva's website, you can find the submission hall and submit a story.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to that. So I understand you guys are already looking at the stories that are coming in, right?
Yep.
Excellent.
I spoke with my publisher an hour ago, and she wanted to sit down and edit one of the stories. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I can't wait to read them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Andy, do you have any other announcements? Because if you don't, I got some.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Let's go on to your announcements, because this is the fun part of the show, too, where we get to do a giveaway.
Yes, we're going to give a giveaway. But before we do that, I do want to make sure that everybody who's going to be has the ability to get to Palm Springs in October, October 9th through the 13th, Cocktail Hour is a proud sponsor of the Left Coast Lesbian Conference. So head over to their website, which is through Sapphire Books. It's sapphirebooks.com/LCLC. And you can get all kinds of information about who's going to be there. So go do that.
Yep.
Okay, now for the fun part.
Yeah, one of the many fun parts of our show.
Yay.
Yay.
So we've got Sandra Moran is giving away 2 copies of her book, her very good book, Letters Never Sent.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And you can pick either, if you win, you can pick either the ebook, or you can wait for a week or two and get a copy, a paper copy signed. Okay? All right. Jae is going to help us out. So, Jae, I need 2 numbers between 1 and 11.
Okay, then I would say 7.
Okay.
And 4.
And 4. Awesome. So Anna Marie has won a copy, and Andy, we met her at GCLS. She was sitting by us for the dinner from hell.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember her. That's terrible word association. I remember her from that. But yes, actually, she was nice.
Yes, she was very nice. She was a convergent, so congratulations, Anna Marie.
Hey.
And the second winner is Blue.
Oh, you're kidding!
No.
Oh, wow!
And the reason that we're laughing is because Blue sent in a question for Jae. So we'll be hearing from Blue, in a manner of speaking, in a little while.
Very nice. That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats to our winners. Woo!
Good
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems so.
Excellent.
All right, I'm done.
That's it? That's all you got?
That's all I got.
That's all you got. Okay. So we invited Jae on to talk about her retooled novel, Second Nature.
Yeah, it's very good.
We got nothing but crickets going on here. I
Don't
expected...
you insert those damn crickets either.
What? You don't like the crickets? You love that cricket. Come on now. Anyway, so I remember reading Second Nature, I think originally when it first came out, but that had been a few years ago. What is it, like 3 or 4 years ago?
4 years, actually.
Is it before?
Wow, has it been that long?
Yeah, 2009. Yeah.
Wow.
Damn.
And then I understand that now that you're with Ylva, that you wanted to make some adjustments to the story before second edition came out?
Actually, I did a lot of revisions with that one, much more than with Backwards to Oregon. Maybe you realize I cut about 40,000 words from the story, which is about 150 pages.
Holy crap.
Yep, it's a lot.
You added or subtracted?
I deleted them.
Because I know it felt a little differently, but I didn't see a major change. I mean, nothing like major. So, I mean, kudos to you.
Well, I did notice one big change because I haven't read it again. I wanted to read it again. And it's like, no, I'm just going to go ahead and read it. The biggest change that I realized right away was you completely changed the beginning.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, the beginning now, without, and you don't have the glossary in the front or any of that, which was daunting. But immediately, I was immediately grabbed by the story. And I don't remember it being that way when I read it the first time.
Yeah, that is the reason why I cut so many words. Most of them were from the beginning. It was dragging a little until they start to meet and until the action starts of the book. So most of the words I cut were from the beginning. I tightened it a lot.
So just for those of our listeners out there that haven't read Second Nature yet, does either one of you want to do a quick summary about the book?
I can do it. Do you want to do it, Jae?
No, you do it. I'm interested in what your impression is.
Okay, all right. Well, just, and of course, I was running around trying to get a new headset, so I'm not quite as prepared as I normally would be. But, so we have, see, now I'm in a sock. So much pressure. Okay, so Second Nature tells the story of a fiction writer, Jory Price, who is trying something different. She's a mainstream romance writer, and actually she's done different genres, but now she's trying her hand at lesbian romance with a twist. She has decided to write about a shape-shifting characters that get a little bit too close to the truth for a real group of species of shapeshifters, and they pretty much put the hit out on her. They want to. They call up what's called the Saru, which Griffin Westmore. Is that right, Westmore?
Yeah.
I always want to say Westmoreland, but that's not right. So
that's a different novel.
Yeah. So Griffin is an agent with an officer with the Saru, and she and another guy, her superior, have been put on the case to find out how Jory's getting her information, and if they and possibly to kill her. So the story is pretty much Griffin trying to get to figure out how Jory's getting her information, but then there's this whole other part of the story with Griffin dealing with some family drama and prophecies and all kinds of stuff. It's just very exciting stuff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, and that's all I got.
That works.
All right.
Jay's speechless over there.
I would be too.
It was perfect, pretty good, yeah.
Do you want this to be a relatively spoiler-free show, or do you want to just lay it all out?
If you don't give up the final twist of the story, then the rest you can reveal.
Oh, I see how you are.
Yeah, it's always good to hold something back, you know?
Yep, I'm with you. Well, I enjoyed this story about as much the second time as I did the first time. But, you know, I have a really, really spotty memory. So, I like Sherry said, I do remember there was something a little bit different about the very beginning, but I just don't remember the fine points of the first time I read it. But I had a question. Was the part where Jory fled and Griffin found her in that seedy little bar in the back room playing some poker or whatever she was playing, blackjack poker, was that in the first edition?
Yep.
Yes, that
Was
was
it?
in it, yeah.
Okay. All right. I still enjoyed it. I'm just I just didn't remember if it was in there or not because it didn't really even feel vaguely familiar as I was reading it. I know, isn't that wrong?
She paid really close attention the first time.
No, I know. Yeah, I have issues with my memory, so it's all right.
So called whiskey.
Yeah, right. It has nothing to do with the whiskey, but thanks for bringing that up. Thanks
When
a
you
lot,
have
Jen.
whiskey for breakfast, you
Oh,
know,
my
you
God.
take your chances.
Well, usually if you're going to have, if you're going to be polite, you have something like a mimosa for breakfast. I just skip that fucking shit. We're right to the whiskey. Jesus.
Did you use a glass?
I did, yes.
Well, see, that's good.
Yeah. One finger. Just
At a time.
throwing that out there.
So, Jay, what are some of the big changes that were made from the first to the second edition?
I cut some scenes from the beginning. I wrote a new scene in which Griffin was introduced. That's completely new. The one where she attends the funeral.
Oh,
That wasn't in the first book.
Yeah. And that really that really shows a lot of her conflicting emotions about her job. Yeah.
Yeah. In the first version, she was running through the forest when we first saw her, and the second book didn't have that scene. What else? The romance. I worked on the romance, and in the beginning, Jory is more approachable, so they get more interaction in the new version of the book.
That was oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you say whatever your impression was.
Well, I remember the first time that I read it, I didn't feel as much of a connection growing between the chemistry between Jory and Griffin, and I don't know if it was because I'd already read it before or maybe because of the changes that you made, but I did feel more of their chemistry and more of their connection this time around.
Yeah, I added a lot of little touches and made Jory not quite so distant, so I think that made a big difference.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm sorry, I was looking at, I reread Manhattan Moon and then Natural Family Disaster, so are there going to be more Shapeshifter?
Yeah, actually, the next book I'm going to publish by the end of the year is a spin-off to Second Nature, a novel-length spin-off. True Nature is the title. I don't know if we talked about it last time, but I started working on it in 2010.
Wow.
And I had written the first draft and put it aside to work on a short story. And you know how my books are, they are always pretty long, so the short story ended up being around 100,000 words. Yeah. So it was published as something in the wine. Mm-hmm. And then all the republishing of my novels started, so it was only this year that I looked at it again and started all the rewrites and the editing. And I should get the final edits from the content editor tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. and I hope to have it published in December.
Oh, nice. That's right around the corner.
That is excellent. I wanted to. I know you're really big on show versus tell, and do you find that when you're revising, because you're doing a lot of looking at your older stuff a lot, do you find that that's one of the major things that you're looking at?
One of the things. I mean, it all goes hand in hand in writing, point of view, mistakes, showing versus telling. Those are all related issues. And when I look at stuff that I wrote some years ago, especially now that I'm an editor myself, I see more things, and a lot of it made me flinch, and I go back and change a lot of it. Yeah.
What do you got, Andy?
I'm still thinking about the different scenes in the book. I know that's not helping the listeners, but I got a kick out of how many times that damn doors get kicked in during that novel. Every time it's like He-Man, Masters of the Universe, oh, like boom, like there goes the door, splinters flying, chunks of door going everywhere. It just seemed like every time I turned around, somebody was getting their door beat down.
Yep, and it's still in the second version. There's still a lot of doors harmed in the production of the book.
What have you got against doors? Come on now.
The one thing I made a note of was you have a lot of mention of different scents, and is particularly what different emotions smell like. I thought that added a very cool level to the story. How did you come up with that kind of stuff?
I don't remember this specific how I came up with it, but to me it just made sense that a species who can turn into wolves or cats, they have a better sense of smell, and they can smell the chemicals, so they can identify the emotions. For example, a lie might have a little a smell that is a little foul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting, and I like that in Manhattan Moon that came up a lot too. I really like that story. I don't know if you read that one, Andy, but it's a short with a shapeshifter, but in a completely different context.
It sounds familiar, but
yeah, and that one. That one was a little different, but I really enjoyed that too. And I know I'm kind of jumping around a lot, but
that's what happens when you have to have a relatively spoiler-free show.
Yeah. But and natural family disasters. I think the thing I liked about that, and for you listeners who aren't familiar with that, that's a book, an anthology of shorts related to Second Nature. And there are some, I think the thing that stands out the most to me about natural family disasters is the humor really throughout that entire book. It's just great situations, the mouse and the school reunion. And my favorite, even though I like the other ones so much, and I had already read the Coming to Dinner, I'd already read that, but I love that. It's just very, very good.
Thank you. Yeah, it was important to me because when they're on the run in Second Nature, it's pretty dramatic and life-threatening, and there's not much time for having fun and having a little more humor in it. So, I put together a series of short stories that balances it.
Mm-hmm. And I have to say that I really love Jory's mom. I think she's one of my favorite characters.
She's something else. I like how poor Jory was forced to basically come out to her mom. Her mom brought her out on a phone call while she's being held captive. That was hilarious. I'm like, oh, what a great time for that conversation. Holy crap.
The Mini Cooper, was that a new edition?
Yeah, I think so. Before it was just mentioned that she has a small car, but that is one of the showing versus telling things. You know, a small car, and no one can imagine what exactly it is.
Yeah, and I just I wanted to see Griffin get in that car so badly.
Oh, I should write a short story for you about it.
Yeah, right.
Well, you can. She got rid of it. Does she get her car back?
I never mentioned, right? Yeah, that's the idea for another short story, how she gets the car back.
There you go. Awesome. And I just have to say that I have a Mini Cooper, so I really love that part. Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't say what color it was, though, did it?
No.
I don't.
Was it blue?
So.
Was it blue in the first edition?
Yeah, I think because I used to have a small blue car, so probably it was blue. Yeah.
I don't know, for some reason, that's what's sticking out to me, that it was blue.
Okay.
There was some humor in Second Nature. Griffin in the diner, those are some great visuals of the waitress, kind of getting away as quickly as possible, and Griffin putting her arm out and knocking things off the next table. That was great. I really enjoyed that. You do. I mean, you paint a great scene, and the readers just very much able to plop themselves into it, and that's refreshing.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you want to read the question?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. All right, I'm going to read an email that we received from our listener who just won one of Sandra Moran's books from Blue. And it says, hello, Andy and Rev. Guten Tag, Jae. Did I say that right, Jae?
Yes.
Woo-hoo! My German's a little rusty. Okay, I have a question and a request for Jae. As a multilingual author, what are the challenges and thrills when writing in more than one language? Can you recall a cultural faux pas that was caught by a beta reader? For example, a doo-doo in Africa is a nap or short sleep. Here in the States, you don't want to use it when indicating your need for a rest. Well, you might need a rest after, but okay, never mind. I love listening to this podcast and audiobooks on my commute to and from work, so I typically arrive at my destination in a good frame of mind. Jae, what is the likelihood of your titles, especially the Oregon series, being produced as audiobooks? Thank you for writing. Vielen Dank. Thank you, Sherry and Andy, for providing us with an avenue to share our enjoyment of stories. Your hard work is appreciated. Blue. So, the first question, multilingual author, what are your challenges and thrills when writing in more than one language?
It's a good question. The main thrill, I think, for me is to be able to read a broader audience. The German lesbian fiction market is less connected. The readers and the writers, there's more sense of community in the English-speaking market. There are a lot of Yahoo groups, Facebook groups, and I like communicating with my readers and hearing from other writers. So that's my main thrill that made me decide to keep writing in English. The challenges, I would say, by now is more that when I try to go back into writing in German, which I did for Manhattan Moon, I translated it, the rhythm of the language is very different. And it was a little hard to go back and not to write in the English sentence structure.
Wow.
Yeah. This, after 7 years of writing almost exclusively in English, I needed to get back into the German rhythm.
Huh.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are there any cultural faux pas that were caught by a beta reader?
Oh, yes, many. That's why I have so many beta readers, because it's not so much words like the doo-doo thing, more like little cultural differences, especially since I've never been in the US. See if I can remember some things. For example, in Germany, we have door handles. You have to press the door handle down to open and to close the door. Mm-hmm. And I remember a scene in Second Nature when Griffin was sneaking up to Jory's bedroom to kill her with a knife. And she opens the door, and a lot of my beta readers says, yeah, but in the US we have mostly doorknobs and little stuff like that. Or apparently Germans like different types of ingredients on their pizza. So the pizza that I had my characters eat is apparently not something any American would ever order.
What was it?
Probably something with pineapple on it.
Oh, my wife loves pineapple on her pizza.
Yeah,
I don't like that at all.
Me either. My brother likes that. Yeah, pineapple and ham. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty common, but I think it was some vegetable that I put on it. Yeah, and then my beta reader told me, here in the US we would probably get pizza pepperoni.
Yep.
And in German, that's a pizza with a very spicy kind of meat. And I was very confused that in the US, apparently, no, in the US it's that spicy meat, and in Germany it's a very, very hot vegetable. So I was very confused when she told me even the kids have that in the US, and I thought, wow, the kids in the US must be really tough to eat that.
We have flamin' hot Cheetos.
Yeah, we have flamin' hot Cheetos.
We're tough.
Yeah. Yep, apparently, yeah. But then I Googled it and I saw a picture, and then, okay, I got it, what she meant.
You were not big on the vegetables.
Yeah, ketchup is a vegetable, that's about it.
Yeah, tomato sauce on the pizza, that seems vegetable.
That's it, yeah. Maybe a green pepper, maybe, if you're lucky. I
do like Brussels sprouts and celery in my Bloody Marys, but that's as far as I'm going to.
Well, Jae, aren't you coming to GCLS in Portland this coming year in 2014?
I will. I very much look forward to that. Yeah, it's the first time, so it seems I'm going to be a conversion Jew.
Yay!
Yay!
Yep.
We'll have to get you a pizza while you're there.
If I can choose what goes on top, then yes.
You and TJ, my wife, can share a pineapple pizza. That'd be great. Yeah.
You guys enjoy yourself. Knock yourselves out.
Ew. For ourselves.
Well, I'm trying to think of what else we can talk about with second nature. I think I didn't finish listening to our last episode, but I'm pretty sure we talked about the way that you handle the transformations between human form and the rasa form. Mm-hmm. But for folks who may not be aware of that, do you want to talk about the way that you handled that, the way you went about that?
Yeah, sure. In a lot of paranormal fiction, it's described like a magical, very peaceful, beautiful process that goes very fast. And a very good friend of mine is a biologist, and we figured out the whole hormone system, how it works together. And she said, no way in hell that if someone transforms the whole body and the organs and the bones and everything, that would be a very painful and slow process. So that's the way I chose to display the whole transformation process, to make it more in a scientific and not so much a magical way.
Mm-hmm. I like that a lot. And even those, you would kind of, or I did, I would imagine that as the years would go by and the more and more you transform, perhaps the pain would get less, but it doesn't. And there were other
kind of
things.
It does. I mean, it's like you learn some techniques to control the pain. That's actually a part of True Nature, because one of the main characters in True Nature is a teenage Rasa who goes through the first transformation, and of course he can't control anything. And in the end of the book, he has to learn some of the transformation techniques to control the pain in the shifting process.
How long did it take you to come up with all the different aspects of the world and their like you said, the scientific aspect of it. Because I mean, you've got you have details like some rasa are affected by catnip, some are not, some have, I mean, it's obviously very, very well thought out. I mean, and going along with that, how did you map this stuff out? Like as far as your process goes, I know some folks have big whiteboards or outlining. How do you go about keeping all of this straight?
I think it took me a few months, 3 or 4 months of doing research. Since my main character was a hybrid shifter, kind of a liger mixed between a tiger and a lion. I started doing research on tigers and on lions, and for example, found out that the lions react to catnip, but the tigers don't. And with a liger, it's a 50-50 chance. So I used it in the book too.
But olives.
Olives is real too. If you have cats and they don't need to eat it. They go crazy if they sense the olive oil.
Wow! I wish I had a cat.
Yeah, right.
Because I would immediately go test that.
If you go to YouTube, you can see some really crazy cats. It's like they are high on a truck.
Huh.
Wow. Yes, I'm writing that down now.
I bet you are.
Cats and olives.
Yeah,
awesome.
She'll be sharing a link on Facebook soon.
Yeah, I may just embed one or two in the show notes. That's really interesting, and that's something that I've noticed about, or that we've actually talked about, because when we talked about hidden nature and Backwards to Oregon, the amount of stuff that you learned about horses, so researchers, you must enjoy it.
I enjoyed a lot. I enjoyed a little bit too much, because sometimes it's hard to know when it's enough and when it's time to start the actual writing process.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
I always say I'm an information junkie. I love to learn new things, to find out new facts, and so that's part of the reason why I love historical fiction. I love history, and I love animals of all kinds. So to me, it's not the old advice that you should write what you know. To me, it's more that you should write what you want to know, what you want to find out more about.
That's interesting.
Right,
Andy has the same issue.
Write what you love.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of love, one of the other things that came up both in Second Nature and in Manhattan Moon is the differences between romancing a rasa and a human. Instead of bringing flowers, just bring a big chunk of meat or something like that.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, since they burn so much calories shifting, of course, food has a special meaning for them in their courtship. For example, the sharing of food is more like a courtship ritual for them.
Yeah, that's very interesting too. So when you're writing this, did those things just pop into your head as you were going, or did you come up with the idea and then create the scenes, create those scenes to go along with that?
It could go either way. Part of why I do so much research is that it leads to pretty good ideas. For example, the catnip thing. Then, as soon as I read it, I thought, okay, this is something I can use in the book.
That was a great scene. That was a great scene too, with the rubbing all over each other.
And sometimes it just pops into my head in the middle of writing, and so I plot my novels, but I'm always open. If the story wants to go in another direction, then I adjust it.
So since you like historical fiction, have you ever, and animals, have you considered writing something about the rasa maybe 100 or 200 years in the past?
No, I haven't, but actually I should hire you as my idea dealer. It's a good idea.
Are you writing that down? Yeah, could be a short story. Yeah,
it could be an idea, to show them in the Middle Ages.
That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Could drop them in the French Revolution and tie it in with Andy's idea.
Come on now.
Which one is that?
We can talk about that offline.
Andy's researching the French Revolution so she can get her novel on.
Yeah, get my novel on.
Yeah. You never know.
Never know.
Maybe instead of the character of Sherry being a syphilitic madam, maybe I could be a non-syphilitic Rasa.
Well, there you go. Right?
I could. You don't know. That could be.
Have 3 or 4 different authors have different series, but they converge in and out of each other's novels?
Yeah, sure. You never know. Could happen.
You go. That would be unique, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Andy, do you have anything else? Because I want to keep asking questions.
Oh, no, I don't have anything per se. I just don't want to forget to play the game either.
Oh, no, we won't forget to play the game.
Okay.
No, although I did forget, but we won't forget. So,
apparently not now.
Jae, did you want to say anything else about Second Nature?
Let's see, what did I want to tell? You asked, I haven't answered the question about how I write everything down, the result of my plotting. It changes. Sometimes I write in index cards and use that to plot the scenes. Other times I just write it down in a Word document. And right now I've begun to work with a piece of software that is rated for writers, Scrivener. And that's pretty well too. Yeah, we've heard other people. Red Hawk uses that, and we've heard a few people say that.
Yeah, Susan Meyer uses it too.
Oh, yeah.
It's great, and it's not expensive, so it's really good for writing, also for nonfiction writing, for blogging. It's very, very versatile. I've never looked at it. What is it about that makes you guys like it so much? I mean, why is it different from just a standard Word type thing? Because it has everything into one place. It has not, for example, if I have Second Nature, then I have the file with the actual story. I have 5 files where I have the details about cats, about the shifting process, about the senses, and how all of it works. I have files with photos of how the stripes of the tiger look, and all the feedback from beta readers. So that's actually a few hundred files for each story. And with Scrivener, you can keep it all in one file, and have access to the internet. You can link to different things. You have a core board where you can arrange virtual index cards. Wow. So you have all the different stages of writing a novel: the research, the plotting, the writing, the editing. You can compile it into ebooks, so you have it all in one piece of software.
Wow. Andy, you need to download that. We were just talking about your process. There you go.
Hey, don't organize my process now.
So can you share files with that too? So if your beta has it
you can compile them also to Word or to OpenOffice, so there's less of a problem if you share it with beta readers.
I'm writing that down.
I just sent you a link.
You did?
I did.
No.
But it's a link to I guess one person's review on the software itself, because I've got a Mac computer, not PC. So
that's fine because it was developed for the Mac, and it's actually the Mac version has more functions.
But my beta is not a Mac user.
Whatever, it'll be fine.
No problem. You can send it to her in Word or anything else. They don't have to use Scrivener.
Yeah, okay.
So there you go. We'll talk about this later. We'll discuss it later.
Ah, yes, I can tell. A big discussion's coming on the horizon.
Okay. Well, if we don't want to talk about Second Nature anymore, and Jae, I tend to forget my questions almost immediately after I ask them, so I appreciate you remembering. I wanted to talk about the conflict of interest series and just a touch about something in the wine, because that really is your only standard romance.
Yep.
Right? So do you have plans to write more of those, or was that just kind of like, I've got this story in my head, I need to get it out, but now I'm moving back to historical or shapeshifter or crime or something?
No, I don't think it will stay my only contemporary romance. I'm not sure if I write about those two characters again. I like them very much. Maybe a short story for them again. But right now I have too many other ideas I want to do first, because there's so much to write about in so little time.
Wow. Wish I had that problem.
That's awesome. So I always forget about conflict of interest and next of kin. I always forget about them because I don't know why, but I just, I think for me, after Backwards to Oregon, I just, everything that you've come out with since then, I just thought was so awesome. And I liked conflict of interest, and I like next of kin even more. So when you go, is it tough to revise those? When you're revising them, how do you? What's your mindset when you're picking conflict of interest back up? What do you already have things in your head that you want to redo, or do you read through it? Because I would think it would be tough.
Yeah, I haven't read them yet again for some years, I think, because those two are not scheduled for publication next year, probably the year after. I think it will be a lot of work, because those were two of the earlier books that I wrote. I remember Next of Kin had a lot of flashbacks and jumping around in time, and it can be pretty confusing. So I might change that and write it in a linear fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, back then I had a lot of bad habits, getting a little too creative with dialogue text, for example. Like she exclaimed and things like that. I will go back and change that. But I'm not sure yet, because I haven't looked at it yet.
Well, I'm looking forward to revisiting those. I always forget that you wrote those. It's like you just started over at Backwards to Oregon, and.
Yeah, but that was actually the first book I brought out, Backwards to Oregon, and then came Conflict of Interest and Next of Kin.
Oh, you see, it just for me.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we could play the game now if you want.
You sure?
I don't know. Do you have anything else?
No, I'm good.
I've enjoyed this rambling. Jay, do you have anything that you wanted to talk about that we didn't get to?
Not that I can remember. Maybe it will come to mind later.
All right. Well, I guess, do we want to play with just Second Nature, or should we open it up?
No, we could open it up, but the only books I remember clearly are Backwards to Oregon, because I read it like 8 million times, and Second Nature, since I just finished it.
And we all know who we both are going to pick for Backwards to Oregon, so let's just stick with Second Nature then.
Might as well.
That's fine. Nora, we love you.
Good, right? Nora, we love you. Okay, so, all right, here we go, gang. Who would you fuck?
Oh,
I don't think we played this the last time you were on, Jay.
No, I don't think so.
Jay's like, I'm mortified.
So I guess I have to make a choice.
One of the characters from Conflict of Interest. You know, when I thought of playing this,
Conflict of Interest, Second Nature.
Oh, I'm sorry, Second Nature. When I first thought of playing this game after I finished reading the story, I thought, yeah, I can see Sherry going after Jory's mom. That was my first thought. Oh my God! So who would it be? Sherry?
No, I think I would go with Griffin.
Okay, Jay would go with Griffin, which is a good choice.
That is a good choice.
That is a very good choice.
It's wild.
Right? And she likes beating indoors. That's bad, though.
Yeah, she's a tiger.
She's a, yeah. Is she a liger?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. All right. So, who are you going to have a little tryst with there, Sherry?
I'm sticking with the mom. I'm sticking with Jory's mom.
Are you? For
Jory's
real?
Mom, yeah. Yeah, I like her. I like her a lot.
Oh, my God. It's the mom hour because I was going to go for Griffin's mom.
Oh, that would have been good, too.
Yeah.
And she would leave you alone when you're done.
Exactly. That's why I liked her. Yeah. Not a hanger-on. That's fantastic.
Although I have to say that Rhonda would be, or Jory. I don't know. There were a few to choose from.
Mm-hmm. There were.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's interesting too. Yeah.
It was a virtual cornucopia of pleasure.
Potential pleasure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
All right then. Ooh, okay. So.
Oh, that was too much fun.
All right. Well, now Jae has offered up. Jae, I want to congratulate you because you have now taken the space of the top giver awayer of things.
Wow.
Yes. Astrid sent 2 mugs. The publisher sent me 2 mugs. Well, she sent me 3, but 1 is for me. For natural family disasters, which, Jae, you have one, right?
I have one. It's very cute. The mouse.
It is. I'm holding mine right now looking at it. It's very cute. So we have 2 mugs and 5 books.
Wow.
Yes. I need to pull that up right quick because I had it someplace. Here we go. 3 signed copies of Second Nature, 1 signed copy of Backwards to Oregon, and 1 signed copy of Beyond the Trail, which I have not read yet.
Oh, okay. It's short stories that go with Backwards to Oregon.
I think there was 1. Is there 1 or 2 in there that weren't put out by L-Book?
I think most of them were published already by L-Book, except for $1 one that shows Amy when she's a little older, more teenage.
Oh, see that? Okay, so that'd be the one I haven't read yet. So I need to get a copy of that. And I'm just going to say, whoever gets the signed copy of Backwards to Oregon, I'm really jealous of you. So we'll just go with that.
Just throw that out there.
Just throwing it out there. Okay, so should we just do the standard question?
Yep, let's do the standard. It makes it easier on everybody.
Okay, so this is what we need you to do. We have, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 items to give away.
Wow.
So all we need you to do, leave a comment no later than September 6th, right?
I'm looking it up because I knew you were going to ask me and I didn't have that particular bit of information off the top of my head. But yes, our anniversary show is being recorded September 7th.
Okay, so you need to get your answer, you need to get your comment posted no later than September 6th, and all you need to do is let us know what your favorite work of Jae is, and if you haven't read her, why the hell not?
Exactly.
Okay, So that's all you got to do, and then Andy and I, since we'll be the ones, we will pick live the winners. Well, no, we can't do that. We can't pick them. We have to. Oh, we can do the random. Yeah,
we'll do the random drawing thing.
Yeah, we'll pick the winners live.
Yep.
For us.
Yep.
During the anniversary show, and we may even have the winners of the Bearded Clam Challenge to announce then too, if the judges are able to get those done.
Sweet.
Okay, so go make sure that you leave a comment.
Yeah. Get your comment in.
Because if only 6 people enter, guess who's going to get the copy of Backwards to Oregon? Just saying. Andy and I share custody.
I know. I was thinking about that mug.
Oh.
I'm showing that out
there. Yeah. I had to swap. I did a merchandise swap.
Nice.
Astrid now has a Cocktail Hour mug.
That's sweet.
Wow. Last time you sent me one too, and I still have it.
Yep, I guess she has a different one than you had. She has the newer one, so you need to go over next time you're over. Feel free to hide.
I will visit her next week, so I will take a look.
Yeah, take a look at that mug. I like that mug. That mug's awesome.
And Astrid was actually a little concerned that you were going to either say that she was really nice or really mean.
I will say she's really nice, of course. She sends me office supplies with every contract I sign, so of course.
That's awesome. I did get a pen. Did you get? I imagine you have a slew of pens.
I have more pens than I can count, but there's no such thing as enough pens.
Oh, there you go, Andy. You feel that way too?
Yes, I am a pen whore. Yeah.
Right. I tell you what, Andy. I'll send you my pen.
What? No, keep your pen.
Well, because Lisa was over. Our friend Lisa was over when the box came in, and she was handling the mugs. I had to slap her. She did steal the second pen, but I'll send you a pen. But I'm not giving up the mug.
No worries. And so let's put it back on track, listeners. Again, to make sure you get your comments in before September 7th, so we can enter you in the drawing. And there's lots and lots of good stuff to win. Yay!
Loads of stuff.
Loads.
Just real quick, if you want to call in and leave a message for us for the anniversary show, do so, please. We'd love to hear from you.
Yep. And what is that number?
It's 747-224-7763.
Sweet. You got it. Fantastic. Well, Jae, thank you very much for coming on the show. You are wonderful as always.
Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm. We'll make sure to look you up when we, en masse, go to Europe. Because we have to hit Germany. We'll make sure.
Oh, great. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, but we'll see you in Portland first.
Yeah, we'll see you in Portland first, yeah. Because that's next year. Yeah.
Good.
All right, but we'll look you up when we finally get to Europe, though. Don't think we won't. We'll probably call you up and go, Jae, hey, we got, there's like 8 people here. Can we stay at your house?
Yeah, sure. You call.
We'll just call you up and say we're wandering about amidst the vineyards and gently sloping hills of southern Germany.
Yeah.
Can you come and pick us up?
That's awesome. All right. I'll probably wrap this up. I'm going to say goodbye to our listeners.
Goodbye, listeners.
Bye.